Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with head coaches that I think the Wizards should hire for our next head coach. I am a Wizards fan, by the way, and I'm pretty sure Scott Brooks will be fired. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that like button, and please subscribe to the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. So if you haven't heard, the Washington Wizards have fired their GM. I always forget his name. I should forget Ernie Grunfeld. We fired Ernie Grunfeld after 16 years of service. And Scott Brooks is probably going to be next at the end of the season. Talking to Wizards fans, I'm friends with a lot of Wizards fans. A lot of them think we are good enough to contend. I'm in the minority in that. I think we need to rebuild. Now, granted, I don't think we should trade Bradley Beal. I think we should trade everybody except Beal, Thomas, and the Troy Brown. I think everybody else, I think we need to trade and get rid of. The Wizards, they need to hire a coach, and we gotta be patient with this coach. So here are about 6 or 7. I think I put together 7 coaches that I would like to see hired with the Wizards, in no particular order. And there's no order, but these are coaches that I would like to see the Wizards hire. Coach number 1. Luke Walton. If you haven't heard, Luke Walton will be fired at the end of this year. I'm about 95% sure about that. There are a few reports, though, saying that Jeanie Buss might keep him, but I highly doubt it. Listen, Luke Walton, he was a coach for a rebuild. The year before LeBron came, he went 35 and 47. And then LeBron came and kind of disarray a lot of things. They kept all the young talent, even though they traded Zubac, which I still don't understand why. But that's not Luke Walton's fault. But the Lakers, they kind of had to go in a different win-now situation, which I didn't think they were completely ready to go into with all that young talent. But Luke Walton, he's going to be scapegoat. He's going to be a scapegoat, and I think he's going to be on the open market. And I think the Wizards should make a play and try to hire him. And the reason why is, I don't think he'll be under any pressure in DC, A, and B, the Wizards team is similar to the LA team. And what I mean by that is it's kind of similar talent. He kind of has a star player. He does have John Wall, who's going to be probably out for most of next year. But Luke Walton will have enough talent to coach his team to either the playoffs or not to the playoffs. And if they don't make, and possibly even coach it to a rebuild. So we'll see what happens. But I think Luke Walton has to be considered. Coach number 2, Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson, he's in the booth right now, but he is responsible for constructing the Splash Brothers and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and drafting Draymond Green. He was the coach when that was all orchestrated. And then they let him go after losing in 7 to the first round to the Clippers, brought in Steve Kerr, and the rest is history. Mark Jackson knows how to coach and coach during a rebuild, in my opinion. So definitely somebody that I think should be highly, highly considered. I believe that if we get him, we should go into rebuild mode, and hopefully he could coach up, and we could be back in the playoffs 2 to 3 years if he's hired. But I think if Mark Jackson's hired, I think we should go rebuild. And by the way, Mark Jackson will hold players accountable. So that's something I really like, and something that the Wizards, I think, really need right now, holding players accountable. Because Scott Brooks is not holding players accountable. So that's just my opinion. But overall, I think Mark Jackson, it should be someone we really look at. Next guy, Alvin Gentry. Listen, I think it's about a 70% chance he's gone after this year in New Orleans. If that's the case, Wizards should go after him hard. This is somebody that I don't know if he could coach a team to a winning record. I do think he knows basketball really well, though. And I think he'll hold players accountable. That's the main reason why he's on this list. I think he will be the one coach that we bring in to change a whole team culture. I think this is the guy to bring in for that. Him and Mark Jackson. If we bring those two in, that's because we need to change the team culture there. Personally, I would like to see it happen. I don't. If Alvin Gentry, if all he could do is get us to the playoffs and lose in six or seven in the first round, maybe occasionally a second round appearance, but the team culture is changing and the players are more disciplined, I could buy into that. But I do think the Wizards. I think part of the problem is that the team isn't talented enough. But Alvin Gentry, if we're going for it, to me, Alvin Gentry is the coach you get if we're going for it and we want to change the culture. Mark Jackson is the coach you get if we want to go rebuild mode and change the team culture. So that's why I think how we should hire. Are we going to rebuild or go for it? And by the way, Luke Walton, I mean, I don't know if we hire him, what direction we should go. But I will say Mark Jackson, if we hire him, we should go and rebuild. Alvin Gentry, if we hire him, we should go for it. Next coach, Kevin McHale. He's been, I think he works for TNT, I believe. He coached the Rockets. He kind of orchestrated the retooling of the Rockets. He was the head coach doing that. When they got James Harden, Dwight Howard, it didn't work out completely. I don't think it is completely his fault. I thought he got scapegoated. But listen, this is somebody we should severely think about hiring. We have a young talent, Thomas Bryant, who's a center. Kevin McHale could really work with him, and he could really become an all-star, Thomas Bryant. I think if we get Kevin McHale, it'll be a retooling phase a little bit, which is fine. I do think the Wizards have to at least retool if we want to win a championship. When I mean retool, trade John Wall. I think, personally, I'm done with John Wall. I want the Wizards to trade him. They probably won't, but with that contract. But hopefully John Wall balls out. But I would like to see him traded. I don't care if we get a bad deal back. It's worth it, in my opinion. It sends the league a message saying that, hey, we're changing the team culture. But overall, Kevin McHale, I think if we want to if we want to go for it, but let's say we want to retool for 2 years, but then go for it, I think he'll be the perfect hire. So I will be on board with a Kevin McHale hire. Next one here, I put them in the same picture: Stan Van Gundy and Jeff Van Gundy. To me, I'll talk about Jeff Van Gundy first. To me, you always gotta throw him on the list because to me he's kind of a wild card. I think depending on the situation, I think he'll actually take the job. Now, granted, if we hire Jeff Van Gundy, we gotta go win now mode, in my opinion. But even if we do, I think Jeff Van Gundy, I think he's somebody that could take us to the second round next year with the team we have. I think he knows a lot about basketball, and I will be really happy with that hire. Let's talk about his brother, Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy, listen, me and one of my close friends, we were talking about going back and forth about Stan Van Gundy as the next head coach. I put him on the list because he is probably one of the biggest names out there, but I wouldn't be completely on board with it, and I'm going to tell you why. To me, Stan Van Gundy, he's good if you want to make the playoffs, make the second round, but he ain't good if you want to make a conference championship, in my opinion, or the finals. And as a Wizards fan, I want to win championships. I'm not here to just make the playoffs, okay? That does not please me with any of my teams. It does not please me. I understand rebuilding, but do not sit there and be in mediocre land, just making the first round and losing in 6 every year. To me, Stan Van Gundy, listen, if he couldn't do it in Detroit, he's not going to do it in DC. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Stan Van Gundy, I think that was his last stop coaching, him in Detroit. I think that's his last stop. I don't think he's going to be an NBA coach anymore. He's going to be in the booth, which is fine, but I'm telling you, to me, Stan Van Gundy is great if we just want to make the playoffs. If we were a 35-win team for the past 2 or 3 years, and we were missing the playoffs, and I just was damn it, let's make the playoffs, Stan Van Gundy would be a perfect hire. But to me, Stan Van Gundy is a coach that can't get out of the second round, and it's nothing against him. It's just how I feel, but I am not. To me, I wouldn't want Stan Van Gundy, but I put him on the list because he's one of the big names. But I wouldn't want him. But I know probably some Wizards fans do. I mean, if we hire him, I won't be mad, but I would just warn you that I would just warn other Wizards fans that don't expect a whole lot. And then the last guy, Monty Williams. This guy, if we hire him, we need to go in clear rebuild mode. This guy knows how to coach during a rebuild. In my opinion, I would definitely be very happy with this hire. He was with the Pelicans. He kind of got screwed over. He took the Pelicans to the playoffs. They got swept by Golden State, but I mean, it wasn't his fault. He had Dell Demps. And by the way, if we hire Dell Demps as our GM, if the Washington Wizards hire Dell Demps as their GM, I'm going to get livid pretty quickly. But Monty Williams, to me, he had one head coaching stint. To me, he deserves a second one. I thought he kind of got screwed over in New Orleans, as I said earlier. But to me, he's a perfect coach if we want to go rebuilding. But overall, the owners of the Wizards, we gotta decide: do we want to go for it or rebuild? I want to rebuild. I don't think the team's good enough. I think that we hit our ceiling when we took Boston when we took Boston to 7 in the second round. I thought that was our ceiling right there. So I think we should go rebuild. That is an unpopular opinion. A lot of Wizards fans think they can win now. I don't see it unless we make some trades. I want David Griffith as our GM. By the way, I think that should be the hire. I'm not doing a video on GMs who should hire because there's only one I really want. But I will list off a few coaches I don't want here in a second. But overall, I think the Wizards need to go in rebuild mode. That's where I'm at as a Wizards fan. Now, coaches I don't want. I don't want Jason Kidd. I don't want Tyronn Lue. I don't want Coach Tibbs. I don't want those three. Reason why I don't want Jason Kidd, I don't think he's a good coach. Tyronn Lue, he went for it. He went on the ride with LeBron. And then Coach Tibbs. Coach Tibbs he's kind of like the Stan Van Gundy guy. Like, he'll get you to the playoffs, but he's not going to do anything in the playoffs. And I want to win championships. To me, in every sport, you're either rebuilding or you're going for it. If you're in the middle, you're screwed. So we have bad contracts right now. So we're screwed basically. So that's why I say rebuild. But hopefully the new GM when we get our draft pick, hopefully we get a good draft pick. I would love to get the number 1 overall pick and draft Zion, but I highly doubt that in the lottery. But hopefully we draft someone good, and he's part of the young talent and Thomas Bryant and Troy Brown Jr. But anyways, that's my opinion of these are the candidates that I think we should be looking at as head coaches in the NBA. I would put Jerry Stackhouse on the list as well, but he just took the job at Vandy and on the collegiate level. So that's another name I would consider. But these are the 7 names I want to see the Wizards go after. I'll be fine with any of these, even though Stan Van Gundy, I will be a little bit hesitant to say I'm fine with it, but that's just me. But anyways, comment down below, Wizards fans. Tell me what you think, who we should hire as head coach, and I'll give you a reply saying if I think it will be a good hire or not. But anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and also please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching again, and this is McD the Beast signing off.